Hello, Tim. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. To get started, if you want to briefly introduce yourself and maybe talk a little bit about Whympr, what it is, and the origin of it.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. So I'm Tim MacLean. I'm the founder and CEO of the Whympr app, which I created 8 years ago now. We're based in Chamonix, so a good place to test the app and with all the different cool sports depending on the season. And what is Whympr? Whympr is basically a product for me at the beginning. My objective was to have a place where I could find all the information I needed to prepare my outings, from hiking to mountaineering, ski touring, climbing, because I was tired of trying to go on tons of different websites or even books to get all the information. So in Whympr, the idea is to find route descriptions, mapping, community feedback, weather forecasts, avalanche bulletins, all the key information, best information, so I can really prepare my outing all around the planet.
So it's not just like a map and planning tool. So as you said, there's a lot of additional information that you usually only find in guidebooks.
Yeah. There is a big mapping section. We just came out with a new feature that's quite amazing, the best 3D in the world and the best winter satellite imagery. So it's a big part of it. But we didn't just want to be a mapping app. Really, I think when you're preparing your outing, you need more than a map. You need to know, okay, what's the avalanche bulletin? Did people go there recently? What are the conditions? So yeah, the idea is really aggregation and also all the route descriptions. I mean, topo books are a key element today. So today we gather more than 100,000 route descriptions in the app, so you can easily filter. Say, I want to climb at a certain level. Show me what kind of mountain or route there's available around me. So that's the idea.
And can you explain a little bit about the range, which countries this will work in, or right now, where are you operating, or the maps?
So the maps are worldwide. You can choose. You have different. You have a worldwide map, but you have also specific topographic maps in France, Switzerland, even the US. We have today 11 different maps, and we're adding more and more. The content, of course, we're French, so we do have a lot more content in France and all the Alps, in Switzerland, Germany, Italy. We work with different databases, but you'll find all the main routes of all the main places on the globe. And then we have tools like to create a track or to register your track. And those are tools that are work all around the planet.
I have a question on, so there's a lot of information from very, very many different sources, I believe. So how do you make sure it's like reliable and accurate information?
Well, what we do is, our vision is there's 3 different levels of information. The highest level is information from guidebooks, because these are usually done by certified guides, and we work with book companies. So we digitalize their content, and you can buy these routes for 2-3 euros. And then there's a model of redistribution, like when they sell their books in the library. So that's kind of the highest level. Then the second level is route coming from community websites, but where there is some checking. They just don't publish everything. There's people behind it who say, yeah, this feedback is interesting and this route description makes sense. So we work with websites like Camp to Camp in France or Gulliver in Italy, and we managed to gather over 100,000 routes this way. And those websites are free, and therefore in the app, all this information is free also. And then the third level, and this is a bit the difference compared to maybe bigger apps like AllTrails or Strava, is the community feedback. We don't consider community feedback as a route. It's not because someone tracked something. We don't know if he was in a paragliding or hiking or whatever. We don't know his level. So we're not going to say this is a route that we're showing to everyone. However, his outing is interesting because there's pictures. We can ask him questions. So we have a feature, it's called Recent Outings, and you'll see on the map all the outings from the last 10 days. So that will give you an idea, and it's more to see the conditions and be able to talk to people rather than saying this is an official route, which is not the case.
So it's always for me to see as a user where the source of information comes from, either from official guidebook, or like, as you were saying, from an independent user just posting information about current conditions?
Yeah, that's very important. Every information has always the source of the information. So you'll see if it's we call them protopos, if it's done with by a professional. Otherwise, it will be from a different website. You'll see the logo, you see where it comes from. Or if it's from a user, you'll see the name and the picture of the user.
So with the European Centre of Adventure Training, our students, we teach them a variety of outdoor skills. They're in the mountains quite a bit. We're based in Germany, Switzerland, and France, so very close to you in Chamonix. And within our program, our students, a big part of it is navigation. And can you paint an example of, you explained the usages and how it could be done, but sort of paint an example for, future students of ours. Let's say they're in a class, they're doing a course, and they need to plan a mini expedition together. How could they use your app to help them? How would that look for them, and how would they use it? And do you see benefit in that application for them?
For sure. For me, these are the key users today of Whympr. There's different ways. It's a main way if you wanted to kind of create your outing, and I think this is how guides are using it today, is you'll find the area where you want to go. You can go and create your track. So the basic feature is you say, I'm point A, I want to go to point B, and the system will already recognize if there's any hiking paths that take you from point A to B, and will automatically track it. You'll get the elevation gain, get the distance, and this all around the planet. But then if you want to go a bit further, if you say ski touring, or I want to go mountaineering, then you can go in drawing mode, and then you can play with the different layers. So you'll be able to maybe put a topographic map, put a satellite map to see what are the differences. We have a worldwide slope layer inclination layer, or even orientation layer to see if faces are north, west, east. And that will give you information. For instance, if you're in ski touring, well, you're going to avoid all the zones above 30 degrees because you want to be the safest possible and avoid avalanche risks. So this is how you're going to create your track, prepare your outing. Then on top of that, you'll be able to see for that area what is the actual avalanche report. Again, if you're ski touring, we do aggregate all the information from France, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Germany, soon the US and Canada in a month. So the idea is you don't have to go dig for the information. It depends on where you're looking, and you'll get that avalanche bulletin. You also get the weather forecast of the last 4 days, the next 4 days. So you also see kind of how the weather evolved. You'll see the freezing level. So all this key information that you won't find elsewhere, really adapted for your outdoor outing.
Yeah, so I think that's a very good, useful, comprehensive tool. Where do you see the limitations of like a planning app? I know there's a bunch of others out there, because in my experience, people sometimes put too much effort on an digital online planning tool. Can you just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. This is something that we try to also communicate on. But the tools we're working on and all the innovations, I think, help, and I think are one of the big steps to continue improving. Better information equals better safety at the end of the day. But as you say, it's digital. For instance, the mapping or the layers, even if they're more and more precise, it's digital models. It's not the real life. It's always, there's a resolution. And one thing we try to do in the app is always try to put that resolution. Is it 1 meter detail, 20 meter detail, 30 meter detail? So you see, but still there is a limitation. So what we try to say and the message we try to pass is use this it's the 3x3. I know in France, in the Alpine Club, there's this rule where you prepare at home. And then once you're at the site, you'll have a look. You see, okay, is there avalanches around? Try to get the information. How are the people's conditions? And then when you're on the snow, that's where you also feel and see what's happening. So it's super important to always keep that in mind, that experience is key. And it's not because you tracked a route and because you're in the right cutter zones that you're in safe land. That's not the case. There's always a risk. Everyone has to be aware of that. And you have to master all the different elements. And we're working on this free preparation, which will help, but is not the only thing you have to base yourself on.
Yeah, thank you for explaining that. And within our program with our students, risk assessment and managing all of that is a huge part of what we do because it's so critical within the outdoor guiding or tourism or adventure guiding industry. And that's something very valuable to us, is to give all of the tools available, including your own human-making decision factors is a factor in that as well. So we want to thank you for the time, and we'd like to stay in touch with you. And perhaps it would be interesting to have you speak with our students at some point as well, and we can, further talk about how our students could use your tool. And if you'd like, if you could just share with us, if people are interested in using your app, they can go to the App Store. If you just want to share how they can contact you, what your website is, or the app, or any way, or you have any events coming up, if you just want to share any of that right now.
Yeah, well, pretty simple. Type Whympr in the App Store or on the internet. You'll find our website. You'll find all the information you need about the app and how to download it. And if you want to contact us, we're a small team, but we're very reactive. So there is a tool on the website or even in the app. And you can ask us any questions. We usually get back to people in 24 hours, which is pretty impressive for the team we have. So yeah, feel free to try it out. The basic app is free. And then, of course, if you want to have other services, there's an annual fee of 25 euros, and that allows us to then invest and develop and continue bringing innovation and new ideas to help us enjoy the outdoors.
Thank you, Tim. It was very interesting to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you think you'd like to work in the outdoor industry, but you're not really sure what you would do, head to our website and we have a free assessment that you can fill out, and we will help you determine that.
To learn more about our training programs, visit our website or sign up to our newsletter.